Who was Ted Bundy and how did he get caught? Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. He was raised by his grandparents and initially believed that his mother was his sister. This complex family situation affected him deeply. Bundy was intelligent and charming, which helped him blend into society and avoid suspicion. Despite his outwardly normal appearance, Bundy struggled with feelings of inadequacy and a desire for control and power, which would later manifest in his criminal activities. Bundy attended the University of Washington, where he studied psychology. During his time there, he had a serious relationship that ended badly, which some speculate may have contributed to his later crimes. Bundy also briefly attended law school, which gave him an understanding of the legal system that he would later use to his advantage. Despite his outward success, Bundy began committing petty crimes, such as shoplifting and peeping, which escalated over time. Ted Bundy's killing spree began in the early 1970s. He targeted young women, often luring them with his charm and good looks. Bundy would pretend to be injured, using props like a cast or crutches, to gain his victims' trust and sympathy. Once they were close enough, he would overpower and abduct them. Bundy's ability to blend in and appear harmless allowed him to evade capture for a long time. Bundy had a specific modus operandi and victim profile. He typically targeted young, attractive women with long, dark hair parted in the middle. He would often approach them in public places, such as college campuses or parks. After gaining their trust, he would lure them to a secluded area, where he would attack them. Bundy's consistent victim profile and MO eventually helped investigators link his crimes across multiple states. Bundy's crimes were not confined to one state. He committed murders in Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, and Florida. His ability to move between states made it difficult for law enforcement to connect the dots. Each state had its own set of unsolved cases, and it wasn't until investigators began sharing information that they realized they were dealing with a serial killer. Bundy's interstate crimes demonstrated his cunning and adaptability. Ted Bundy was first arrested in 1975 in Utah for aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assault. While in custody, police linked him to several other cases. However, Bundy managed to escape from jail twice. The first escape occurred in June 1977 when he jumped out of a library window while acting as his own attorney. He was recaptured within a week. His second escape, in December 1977, involved him losing weight to fit through a hole in the ceiling of his cell. This escape allowed him to flee to Florida, where he continued his killing spree. After escaping, Bundy traveled to Florida, where he committed some of his most brutal crimes. In January 1978, he attacked the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University, killing 2 women and severely injuring 2 others. He then abducted and murdered a 12-year-old girl named Kimberly Leach. Bundy was finally captured in February 1978 after being pulled over by police for driving a stolen car. His capture in Florida marked the end of his killing spree. Bundy's trial was one of the first to be televised nationally, turning it into a media sensation. Bundy, who had studied law, acted as his own attorney and used his charm and intelligence to manipulate the courtroom. Despite his efforts, he was found guilty of the Chi Omega murders and the murder of Kimberly Leach. The trial showcased Bundy's charisma and cunning, but ultimately, the evidence against him was overwhelming. Ted Bundy was convicted of murder and sentenced to death in 1979. He received 3 death sentences in total for his crimes in Florida. Bundy continued to appeal his convictions, delaying his execution for nearly a decade. During this time, he gave numerous interviews, providing insights into his psyche and crimes. His interactions with the media kept the public fascinated and horrified by his actions. Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair on January 24, 1989, at Florida State Prison. His execution was met with public approval, with many people gathering outside the prison to celebrate. Bundy's legacy is a complex mix of horror and fascination. He is remembered as one of the most notorious serial killers in American history, and his case has been extensively studied by criminologists and psychologists. Bundy's ability to blend into society while committing heinous crimes serves as a chilling reminder of the potential for evil within individuals.